If we could please ask everyone to please come and find a seat. If you'd like to get started. Good evening. On behalf of my wife and myself, we'd like to welcome all of you tonight, coming here, braving the rains and the mabul. I'm sure you all got the Uber that we sent to everyone's house, and if not, we'll have some refunds from them. All of you came here tonight to cover the Torah, to cover to the Mir Yeshiva. The last within a few months prior to tonight, Yeshiva made its 200th annual dinner celebration of the 200th year of the Mir Yeshiva in the world. I was zeicha to get one of the books that they gave out at the dinner, and I finished reading it today to make sure in time for the event this evening. And something that struck me, and Renachman mentioned to me that it's a davar yedua, but for me it wasn't. It's a big chiddush. When my shver alav shalom learned in Shanghai, he would always talk about the Mir Yeshiva. He was a Lubliner, but he hung out in the Mir Yeshiva. And it's brought down in the book that in Shanghai, the Yibachim didn't have a lot of svarim. In fact, he only had one Rambam and one Tzais HaChayshin. Over, like things go, there's some missing pages from these two svarim. In a yeshiva needs a Rambam, Medafrak Tzais. Kozel. We are zorcha this evening to have Rav Shmulevitz, who came from Toronto, to be our guest speaker. His uncle, Rav Chaim Shmulevitz Zatzal, Rosh Yeshiva from the Mir. It's mind-boggling. By heart, he filled in the missing pages, word for word, that they checked out afterwards. He didn't miss one word from the Tzais, the missing pages, and the Rambam. He missed not one word. We don't have Yidden, at least in today's world. You should see that someone should be able to do such a zach is unbelievable. It's Mabel al Arayin. There's such gedolim, such Talmidei Chachamim. You have the Tzais? You have the Rambam. I'm spoiled. When I read this, I thought
he can do the same thing as well.
When I read this, I called over my wife and said, "You have to look at this. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. There was such gedolim, such bnei Torah, Amalek Tzaitin. This is the Mir. This is what the Mir was made of. Such gedoli Torah. I'm without words. It's such a schus for me to be able to host the evening tonight. It's such a hail gemach and Torah. I never learned in the Mir, as I said every year, but I have nisbal from the Mir. My Edom, Logazunsan Yerucham, and my two sons, Shimon and Eli, both learned in the Mir. I was there for several of the Archikalas. One thing that always struck me was the Tamimus, the Terech Kibarai of the Rabbeim, of the Talmidim. Behind the comparison, it says, Dabar Laron Leimor Ish Bizarach L'Dareis Mashiyah Boy Mum. Zok the Heilige Klei Yoker, Vos Pshat Shayiyah Boy Mum. It has in him a mum. Amalek Tzaitin, the tzaddikim were able, if they saw in somebody fearing a certain way, they realized episode nicht richtig in this yid. There's going to be a mum in him. If he's Balgaiva, he's going to chas v'shalom be struck with blindness. If a person is a Balgaiva in his regal, the way he walks, he's going to have a balmum in his regal. Because the way a person fears the mum will come. So asher yiyah boy mum, not asher boy mum b'shteit later, asher yiyah boy mum. That even today, even now, the way he's fearing zach is a similar dover that there's a mum going to be in him because he's not toichei kabarei. One thing that I was zeichet to see by the Rashiva of Nosson Tzvi Zatzal and by the Rabbeim that I had shaykhs with over the days that I was there, but they're all toiche kibarai. And this is one thing that they give over to the Talmidim, this tremendous, be who you are, be a complete Ben Torah. Don't just be a Ben Torah on the outside, you have to be a Ben Torah on the inside also. You have to physically be a Ben Torah. And it's truly a big schus for myself and my mishpacha to host this this event this evening, covered the Heilige Mir Yeshiva. It's my schus and covered to call upon Rav Nachman Lubavitz, the Rosh Yeshiva from the Mir, to give us the bracha.
Shukriya for the introduction. It gets better every year. Tonight's meeting, tonight's asifa for the yeshiva, besides our yearly commitment to the yeshiva to come and to allow our talmidim, parents of talmidim, alumni, friends, yedidim, to be able to become shutfim together in our avodah in yeshiva. Also, we're commemorating the 200th year of the kiyum of Mir Yeshiva Alei Adomis. The history goes back to, I don't think it's available in every bookstore, but those that are able to see the book that Shai just mentioned, there is a tremendous history of Mesiras Nefesh for Torah, how Torah went weiter und weiter und weiter. And I think that part of our responsibility is to realize as mezucht nicht kenaya Sachen, there's no a new mahalach wie man darf lernen, wie man darf tun, but rather to go along with the derech, the slil haderech that our rabbeim, our fathers, our grandfathers, those that they taught us how, what we're supposed to do, and to continue with their drochim. And avada we see that today, by us and in many literature yeshivas, this matzav continues ad yom hazeh, the derech halimud, the mesechtas that they learn, the hanhoga between talmidim continues, und alavai weiter, it should continue. I spoke before I left to come to America. I learned with some talmidim one day, and I told them over a very interesting medrash that I would like to say over Bekitzer. In Posuk steht da say, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu in Dvorim steht, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Torah to Klal Yisrael, he gesagt, Loi b'shamayim hi. Loi b'shamayim hi leima, v'yalolonu ha-shamayim, ki beficho b'lvovcho la'asoyso. On the medrash of Loi b'shamayim hi, steht in medrash hazeh, the piece of paper is still in my pocket from 2 days ago. Steht in medrash hazeh, Dover Racher, Omar Rabbi Chanino. He, ki ha-mitzvah hazois, loi b'shamayim hi, ki ha-mitzvah hazois, hi, v'chol kli umnoso nitno. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Torah to Klal Yisrael, he gave Torah, v'chol kli umnoso nitno. And v'sonuso, tzidko, v'yashruso. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Torah to Klal Yisrael, he gave the kliumness to be able to accept and to do with Torah what we have done with Torah. When you teach a person an umnis, you teach a tailor an umnis, you have to teach him how to thread a needle, how to cut a piece of bad, how to measure something. The kliumnis of a tailor is disherale, the fodim, those are his kliumnis. A carpenter, his kliumnis is a hammer, nails, those are any kliumnis. What's the kliumnis of Torah? Kodesh Baruch Hu gives Klal Yisrael Torah. We're standing now in the Yomim, in the Matmoinim of the Kras Kabbalah HaTorah. What are the kliumnis that allow us to be able to be zoiche to be the Mekabelei HaTorah? The kliumnis are Anvesonuso, Tzidko, V'yashruso. Als Retza wegen Midos Toivos. Hanhoga of the Beinodom Lachaveroi. Hanhoga of Midos, wie man darf sagen, how to present yourself to other people. Steht nicht Hasmode, steht nicht kein Kishrin, steht nicht kein andere Sache, das steht nicht. Da steht Tzidkoso, Yashruso und Anvesonuso. These are the midos that you need. And these are called the kliumnis that we have in order to be able to be Mekabel HaTorah. She has said he saw this mido in the Rosh HaYeshiva, in the Manhigim, in the Mechanchim in the Yeshiva, this chelik of the midos toivos that are given over to the Talmidim, and they're taught how to continue and to go weiter. We see Keseda, the Metzias of Kiddush Hashem, Heichi Domi Kiddush Hashem, the Gemara in Yuma. Also the same Yisod. At Maso Matonu Be'emuno, V'diber Benachas Be'emuno, Als Retzach No V'gem Midas Toivos. In the last Mishnah in Ovis, the Memches Dvom Shater Niknis, I once heard Reb Leib Malin Zecher Tzadik Levrocho. It's Kemat a quote. We asked him, the first one of the 48 Kinyonim is the Talmud. Hat der Leib gefragt, was ist, mit nicht lernen, nicht man nicht wissen. Was steht bei Talmud? It's one of the 48. Wir fragen doch, wie macht man das? Was ist bei Talmud? Hat der Leib gesagt, dass I love to say it in Yiddish. Als mir versteht, als lernen, in Stocken lernen, darf man verstehen, als die Memches Dvorim und die Memches Dvorim in die Stocken Teire. With the same mishkol, just as you understand that without limud, it's not negayah, there's no Torah, it doesn't go. The same understand that all the other Memches Dvorim are relevant to the ability of the person to be able to be koine in Kinyan HaTorah. Give a look in the Memches Dvorim. A chele godol of midas toivos, of anhoga toivo, of einodom lechaveroi, all that is included within. These are the kinyonim that we need in order to enable us to be able to be zoiche in the grace tag to come and to be able to be from the Mekabelei HaTorah. Yadua, the Ramban in this week's parsha is me'orer that Shavuos is always considered in Torah Atzeres Tiyah Lochem, the Loshen Atzeres. So the Ramban says that the Atzeres of Pesach is actually Shavuos. The end, the Ramban is Madbe Bariches, it's not the days of Pesach, afterwards continue on. The Atzeres, the culmination of Pesach, finishes in Chag HaShavuos. V'hayomim ho'elu heim kechoiloi shel moed of the Pesach towards the Shavuos. Kechoiloi shel moed is the kesher. These days carry a connection between the Yesod of Klal Yisrael, of Yetzias Mitzrayim, to the sof posik of Tavdun es Elikim al Or Hazeh, to the son of Matan Torah. This is be'etzem our avodah that we have now in these yomim, to become the Mekabelei HaTorah, Avade b'Talmud, that's the first aleph, but with all the other kinyonim of the Beinodom Lechaveroi and the Hanhoga between Rabbi Talmidov, like as we see, B'imei Asfiro, Nagu Koved Zeh Bozeh, all this is a chelik of the Kli Umnoso that allow us to be able to be Mikabli HaTorah. Tonight, we have a zechus to hear from one of the Ahuvei HaTalmidim that we had in the yeshiva, in the tkufa that he learned by us in the yeshiva. Besides being a nephew of Reb Chaim Zichar Tzadik Livrocho, besides being the big Talmid Chochem that he is, besides everything else, all of the Mabrios, a Geschmacka, I'm sure that Mir Hashem, when you'll get to know our guest of honor, our Agoyin Reb Rafael, you see yourself that he, Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him the zechus, nosno he ukli umnoso. He carries with him the kli umness of Emeseh Talmid Chochem Amavitz Torah, someone that for us it's a pride that he represents the Talmidim HaChashuvim of the Bir Yeshiva. It's our zechus and our koved to ask him Rafael to share with us Divrei Brocho, the koved Hayomim HaGedolim, L'chvedein.
Truth of the matter is, this is the second time I'm saying this speech today. When I came to immigration, the immigration officer asked me where I'm going. I told him I'm going to Chicago. He asked me why I'm going there. I told him I'm giving a speech. He asked me about what. I was Makatzer. With people standing behind me. I told him about Shavuos. He tells me, what's that? I told him it's an upcoming holiday. So I never heard of it. Okay, so now it's Chazorah. Shkayach Reb Nachman. Pesach Chafayt Atzania. Reb Shia. Choshvi Rebbetzin. The Pasuk says that when David HaMelech wanted to bring the Aron back to Ir David, he was scared to bring it into Ir David. And he brought it as far as Beis Ovid Edom Hagiti. And he left it there for 3 months. And the Pasuk says, Vayivarach Elokim es Beis Ovid Edom Hagiti. The Eibishter brought a bracha into Beis Ovid Edom Hagiti. What was the bracha? Ovid Edom Hagiti had 8 daughters-in-law and a wife. 9 women were in his house. And every one of them became pregnant. And every one who became pregnant, she should be Keresecha. And from those 3 months that the Aron Kodesh was in his house, 54 children were born in his house. That was the bracha. 3 months of Aron Kodesh. There's a story where it's Reb Sadia Gaon. Reb Sadia Gaon was Rosh Yeshiva in Egypt. And he got an invitation to become Rosh Yeshiva in Sura, which is now Iraq. And he accepted it. He was in Egypt already. He was ready to go to Sura to be Rosh Yeshiva. But once he was Rosh Yeshiva ready in Sura, he started to raise funds for his yeshiva in Sura in Egypt. And he went over to Gvir. And the person promised him a lot of money, a big nadav, and he gave him the money. The Tanai Echad. The Tanai was that when he gets to Sura, he dedicates the Aron Kodesh and the Beis Medrash and the yeshiva in Sura to this person's name, to the Gvir's name. And Reb Sadia Gaon was masking. And he comes to Surah, and he comes into Beis Medrash, and it's dedicated already. There was a plaque on the Beis Medrash. There was a plaque on the Aron Kodesh. And he didn't know what to do. It was a lot of money. So Sadi Gaon wrote him a letter. He wrote him that there's two Chelkei HaTorah. There's Torah Shebiksav and there's Torah Shebal-Peh. The Aron HaKodesh of Torah Shebiksav is the Aron that sits in the Mizrach of the Beis Medrash. That's been dedicated already. The Aron HaKodesh of Torah Shebal-Peh is the Yeshiva and the Bnei Torah. They're the Aron Kodesh of Torah Shebal-Peh. That you're going to dedicate. I'm going to use your money for the Aron Kodesh of Torah Shebal-Peh. When the Aron HaKodesh of Torah Shebiksav came to Beis Ovid Ered HaGittin, there was a gewaltige bracha and aslach in the house. You're machnes tonight. You're machnes oirech of Yeshivas Mir. Over 8,000 Talmidim, plus the yeshiva. You're machnes tonight into your house the Aron Kodesh of Torah Shebal-Peh, which brings no less bracha than the Aron Kodesh of Torah Shebiksav. It was all like a helpful, and that's chus that you have tonight, Mir Yeshiva in your house, the Aron Kodesh of Torah Shebal-Peh, the house should be nisraven with bracha v'atzlach.
Amen.
What? You have to make a bigger house.
That's the last problem.
If I may, she inspired me. He told over a story about Reb Chaim Shmulevitz of his Gadlus B'Torah, how he wrote the last pages of the Tzais and the first pages of the Rambam. If I could share for 1 minute a personal story about Reb Chaim Shmulevitz, probably how he came to the Gadlus B'Torah. I was all of 18 years old when I came to the Mir, way too young. Ben was way too young. But I came. When I came to the Mir, there was no room in the dormitory, so I slept in Reb Chaim Shmulevitz's house. The first room on the left, I slept together with Meir. That was an experience in itself. I'm not nitfar rabbi, that's for sure. Definitely experience. Al Kapanim, I slept there, the first room on the left. And they had an ozeret, a maid, a Swedish maid, Margaret, yeah. So when it came the day of laundry day, and she comes over to me and says, "Give me your shirts." Okay, I give her the shirts. I'm looking around the house and I don't see a washing machine. I give her my shirts. She takes out a huge pot with a neft burner. She turns on the neft burner, puts the pot on the top, fills it up with water, and starts cooking the shirts. I never had whiter shirts in my life, I can tell you that much. I felt like I'm going 50 years back in time. 50 years back in time, literally. I've never seen anything like it, that somebody should be cooking shirts. But that's what happened. I walked into the kitchen, and there was no oven. There was this small piece of marble, I think, coming out of the wall, and there was a kirayim. A kirayim is what people usually use for camping. There was no oven. Remember the kirayim in the kitchen? That was it. That's all they had. The kitchen is as a grace via closet, maybe. Enough for one person, b'doich. That's all we had. I remember when he got sick, it started off that he had pains in his back. And the doctor came, and he said, "Can I see your mattress?" And they took him into the bedroom. The mattress was not one mattress, it was a sectional. There were 3 mattresses on one bed. Each one was full of straw. It were 3 straw mattresses. And they weren't even, the straw moves around. The doctor couldn't get over it. He couldn't believe that there's still somebody in this century that's sleeping on such a bed of straw. He couldn't believe it. That was my first experience coming. It wasn't the Gadlus B'Torah. It was seeing how he lived. And I remembered Ad Hayom Hazeh. And if I could quote Reb Erl Soloveitchik on how to look at such a story. when Rabbi Ram Yeshua was going out with his wife, Reb Reich, the Mechutin, came from Switzerland. And he walks into Rebel's house and he looks around and he says, Mein Tochter kennet Leb Mazeh. Mein Tochter kennet Leb Mazeh. So Rebel says to Reb Reich, Ich sag mit mein Kinder, als darf von Leb Mazeh. Ich weiß, am ken Leb Mazeh. When I was 18, nothing much, I don't remember much of what I learned to Mir Chicago at 18, but the big pot, cooking shirts, I definitely remember. And what I remember, I'm not going to live like that. Aber ich weiß, dass hat mir nicht gesagt, mit darf leben Mazeh. Aber ich gesehen, I can leben Mazeh. That remained with me. The pasuk says, the Eibishter told Moshe Rabbeinu in Mitzrayim, "Zelecha ois ken ishlachticha beitziach es ami Mitzrayim, tavdin es elakim al harazeh, tavdin es elakim al harazeh." What day is that referring to? This tavdin, this avodah that the Eibishter is telling Moshe Rabbeinu that they'll eventually do. What day is that referring to? The Pashtus is, many Rishonim learn like that. Rashi, Taimir Nisim Ben Azil, the Ranam Selchim, is going on Yom Matan Torah. Yom Matan Torah is known as a Yom Avoid. Tavdin is Elikim al Harazeh. The Rashbam of an art, it says Tavdin, so Rashbam learns it's going on Karbonis. And Yom Chamishi L'Sivim, when they were marked the Karbonis. That's how Rashbam learns. It's interesting, the Balaturim learns in Parshas Yisrael, he says it's not going on Yom Matan Torah, it's not going on Yom Chamishi. It's going on the day they came to Midbar Sinai. On Rosh Chodesh Sivan. The Lashon HaBalaturim, B'chodesh HaShlishi, L'tzeis B'nai Yisrael Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Yom Hazeh Bo Midbar Sinai. So the Balaturim, Al Oiseh Yom Shenem Ala Moshe Tavdil Zakim Al Harazeh. The Eibishter was referring to Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Tavdil Zakim, when you come to Midbar Sinai. On that day. It's hard to understand. I understand Yom Matan Torah. I understand Yom Chamishi, the Karbonis. But on Yom Rishon, the Chazal tell us, the Gemara says in Shabbos, nothing happened. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't tell them anything. They had to rest. Nothing happened on Yom Rishon. So what's it given the Tavdin as Elikim al Harazeh and the Yom Rishon if nothing happened? I think the pshat is maybe the pasuk says Vayachnu b'midbar vayichen Yisrael neged ahar. We all know the Rashi Vayichen Yisrael neged ahar. It doesn't say Vayachnu Keneged Ahar, it says Vayichen Yisrael. It's interesting, in the exact same pasuk it says Vayachnu Bamidbar, B'Lashon Rabin. And then it says Vayichen Yisrael Neged Ahar. So in the exact same pasuk, it didn't, not much time went through from Vayachnu Vayichen. What happened? How did it become from Vayachnu Bamidbar to Vayichen Yisrael? How did we come from a Lashon Rabim to a Lashon Yach? How did we come from Molei Tarumas, the Achloikis and Molei Tarumas, to a Vayichan that Ki Yishachar V'Leifach, in the same pasuk? I think the teretz is in the pasuk itself. Vayachnu b'midbar, Vayichan Yisrael neged ahar, neged ahar. Once Klal Yisrael was standing neged ahar, waiting to hear the Ratzon Hashem, anticipating the Dvar Hashem, everything else wasn't Taifas Makim anymore. There was nothing Taifas Makim. Vayichen Yisrael neged ahar. It made no difference who was standing where, what they had. There was no more machlokes. They refocused they redirected their whole goals, redirected their priorities. Now there's only one thing, neged ahar. They all had the same goal. About it started off with Vayachnu b'midbar. And once they came neged ahar, Vayichen Yisrael neged ahar, that's it. There was nothing else. There was nothing else that was Taifas Makim at all. The only thing that was Taifas Makim at them is neged ahar. Wir warten auf Herrn, der Dvar Hashem. Totally changing over of their priorities. They're mevatel the rotzen with me rotzen abayr. The machloikis, the tarumas that took place, it's all because everybody had their own agenda and their own ritzaynus. And when you have your own ritzaynus, the tayvi vakish nifra. The second they all changed, that it's not about me anymore. It's all about the Dvar Hashem. They all had the exact same goal, neged ahar. I think that was the avodah of the Yom Rishon. It's a shver zach to change your whole priorities. Until now, it was all about myself. And now, nothing else is Taifis Malkum, besides Neged Ahar, besides the Ratzon Hashem. As for Navayachnu, Zolverna Vayicha, that is Avodah Gedolah. The person should change his whole perspective. That whatever was important to me till now is not Taifis Malkum at all. That was the Tavdon Zakim Al Harazeh and the Yom Rishon. And that's an Avodah Gedolah. I once saw a word from Rav Ruderman, he said, the Gemara says, Yimolei hayoyim kama Yosef ike b'shuk. Yimolei hayoyim, Rashi says, shenisrimamti. If not for this day, I would look like any Yosef in the street, any Yosef in the gas. This day elevated me. I became a different person. He learned a little different shot, Rav Ruderman. Yimolei hayoyim kama Yosef ike b'shuk. Yimolei hayoyim, if not for the day of Matan Torah, kama Yosef ike b'shuk. Each person would be kama Yosef. Each person himself would be a different person depending on where he is. If I'm at home, I'm one Yosef. If I'm in shul, I'm another Yosef. If I'm in business, I'm a totally different Yosef. Kama Yosef ike b'shuk. I'm a totally different Yosef. I'm cutthroat. I'll mow down everybody else just to get ahead in business. If I'm on vacation, go a different Yosef. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Kama Yosef ike b'shuk. With Ilmoli Matan Torah, Ilmoli hayoyim. Nachdem was given on Matan Torah, it's shenito Kama Yosef ike b'shuk. Wherever I am, the only thing that counts is was will der Eibishter jetzt von mir. If I'm at home, was will der Eibishter von mir jetzt. Wherever I am, ich stehe keneged ahar. If I'm at home, bin ich keneged ahar. If I'm b'shuk, in business, chash mishpat, I have to run it like the Eibishter. If I'm in shul, Erechaim. If I'm on vacation, Ebenezer, let's say. I'll befel shul keneged. But wherever I am, as the Reverend said, wherever it is, after Matan Torah, as Alamo Keneged Ahar. There's one Yosef, and only one Yosef itself. Kama Yosef ike b'shuk is Ad Matan Torah. Nach Matan Torah, there's only one Yosef. As Rashiva said, and Shia said, this is the 200th year of Mir Yeshiva. 200 years of Mir Yeshiva. Rosh Yeshiva Reb Lezer mentioned at the dinner, he mentioned the famous Medrash Tanchuma. You all heard of the Medrash Tanchuma. Lefikach kava kadosh baruch hu shtei yeshivas liyisrael, the Eibishter made two yeshivas to Klal Yisrael, sheyahoydim b'Torah yoyim v'layla. They should learn Yom V'Layla, Miskabtzim, Shtei Pam V'Shana, Ba'adar, U'Be'elo, V'chol HaMekayimos, V'noisim, V'noisim, V'machamte Shal Torah. Ashim Amidin Dav Al-Buri, V'aloch L'Amiti. V'oisim Beis Yeshivas, V'lo Shvi, Shevi, V'lo Shmad, V'lo Shol, V'lo Sholabem, V'lo Yovam, V'lo Edam, V'tzina HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yid V'ei Shana, Kodim Korban. Rashiva, so like Gesundheit mentioned, it looks like from Tanchuma that we're referring to Mir Yeshiva. A yeshiva b'shleimusa should be saved. Like Shalat, like Avan, like Yavam, like Edom, like Shviv, like Shmad. A ganze yeshiva should be saved. This is one of the shtei yeshiva shekadosh b'kavah kadosh baruch hu b'li Yisrael. why did they wish to make it like that? What's it take involved with these two yeshivas? Why is it so important that there should be two yeshivas, that there's no hefsek? There's no, for 200 years straight, there should be no hefsek. From one Klal Yisrael got Matan Torah, there has to be shnei yeshivas. Kavah Kadosh Baruch Hu B'Elamah. If you look a little before in the Medrash Tanchuma, the Medrash Tanchuma gives us the reason. V'afa Kadosh Baruch Hu karas bris in Yisrael, shalei tishtachach Torah shebal peh mipiyam u'mipi zarim ad seif kol hadoros. Ulefikach kara Kadosh Baruch Kavah Kadosh Baruch Hu shnei yeshivas. In other words, steht in der Tanchuma that the only way the Eibishter saw to guarantee there should be no shikchas HaTorah b'Klal Yisrael is only if there's a yeshiva. If people are learning and there's not going to be yeshivas, just people are learning, the Chazal say over here there'll be mechshaylos. The only way that you could have a guarantee there will need no shikchas HaTorah if there's a yeshiva. What's mean shikchas HaTorah? The Chazal go on, Kedei shelishlitakach Matan Torah. Not only shikchas HaTorah shouldn't be forgotten. These shtei yeshivas guarantee that the Matan Torah shouldn't be forgotten. The Torah that was given at Matan Torah should not be forgotten. I say shtei Dorim Chazal. Shalei tishtachach Matan Torah shebal peh. That Torah that was given at Matan Torah shebal peh, that's the Torah that's guaranteed through the shtei yeshiva shekadosh Baruch B'Elamah. And without that, we'd forget it. What's the pshat? I think the pshat is because the Chazal say, what's the mile of these two yeshivas? What is the mile of yeshiva more than people just sitting around, sitting and learning? So Chazal say the mile of yeshiva is Shemamidin Dovel Al Burya V'Halacha V'Amita V'Mevi'in Raya Min HaMikra Min HaMishnah Min HaTalmud. In yeshivas, the Torah is kinesinos. By the nesinas HaTorah, it was klor, it was emes, lamita, it was ebshtalein, piyah gvura. In yeshiva, after the Melchamta Shel Torah, once people are nice and nice in the Melchamta Shel Torah, kum to raise the emes. And if it's kum to raise the emes, that's kinesinosam. The Torah that was learned in Matan Torah has a hemshech. That type of Torah. That's Ma'amidin Dov Al Burya, Ma'amidin Dov Al Burya, Ma'amidin Dov Al Burya, V'Halacha L'Amita Shel Torah. The halacha is L'Amita Shel Torah Mamash. We're not looking just not to forget. We're not forget that type of Torah that was a Matan Torah. And that's only guaranteed by yeshiva. Because that's Torah L'Amita. That's Kinesinas and Mamash. The Chazal Betzim say like that. Beis Midrash, the Chazal say Beis Midrash Shel Rebbe Lezer also Kemin Ris. The Beis Midrash Shel Rebbe Lezer was made like a semicircle. V'hoyesham Evan be'emsa. There was a stone in the middle. Pam achas nichnas Rabbi Shua the Beis Midrash Shel Rebbe Lezer. Rabbi Shua walks into the Beis Midrash Shel Rebbe Lezer, and he walks so to the Evan, and he v'noshak es Evan, and he kisses the Evan. V'omar. Ha'evan hazeh doim lahar Sinai, u'mi sheyoyshev aleh doim la'aron habris. Ha'evan hazeh doim lahar Sinai. Rebbe Lezer's Evan was doim lahar Sinai. U'mi sheyoyshev aleh doim la'aron habris. Hashbod Satira came through Rebbe Lezer. Why Rebbe Lezer's stone, Rebbe Lezer's Evan, was doim lahar Sinai? This is the Rebbe Lezer Rabbi Shua, which is brought down in the Taisis and Chagiga, by the bris of Elisha ben Mavua, when everybody was eating and singing and dancing, they went in a different room. The Chazal say, Nisaske b'divrei Torah, Yor de'esh min hashamayim v'kifen oisam. Omelem avuya, ma bosim lisrif es beisi, you came to burn down my house. Omru chas v'sholem, ela yosh manina v'chayzim divrei Torah, metorah l'navim, navim l'ksuvim, v'yadvam smechem kinesinossim v'sinai. The divrei Torah of Rebbe Lezer was dvarim smechem kinesinossim v'sinai. Lamita shel Torah. When we say Lamita shel Torah, that's what the Chazal mean, menavim l'ksuvim, metorah, menavim l'ksuvim, eshtimt u'meton. If it's emes, it's going to shtim with every pasuk in the Torah, and every pasuk in the Nevi'im, and every pasuk in the Suvim. Like this emes. But dvarim smechem kinesinossim v'sinai. A yeshiva is a maim in Har Sinai. And the Eibush had to be kiveya, the yeshiva that never is bottle, Shalei tishtachich Matan Torah, Shel Ishtachich Maimer HaSinai. Mamash HaMaimer HaSinai. I remember by Reb Nachum the Shir. Reb Nachum the Shir, mit der Mol gespielt das. Als Turkish, bei Dvorms Mech, Genosim Sinai. Alles gestimmt. You could have a Rashba, and you'll tell you that the Rashba learned to say, and for them learned to get a Sugi Azay, for them, Acht Rashbas. Why each Rashba learns like this? Because he understood from this Sugi, wie man darf lernen an der Sugi. As a given by at Dvorms Mech, Genosim Sinai. I might mention something about Reb Nachum. Zeichet Tzadik L'Vrocha, I'm the suction. But the Chazal tell us that Rabbi Yonasan ben Azil, when he was learning Kol Oif HaPareach Miyad Nisraf, any bird that went over his head got burnt immediately. There's one of the Mefarshim on Mar Nevuchim, his name is Shem Tov. His name was Reb Shem Tov. And he brings on a little different shot on this. What's mean Kol Oif HaPareach Miyad Nisraf? Shekol Oif HaPareach Miyad Nisraf. V'shas iyunoi v'arotzen boi kol machshav v'shohayte bilsi amitis miyad nisrefes v'holechus la'avtu. Doesn't mean the bird. It means any machshav that went into his head. If it wasn't emes la'mita shel Torah miyad nisref, something that wasn't mita shel Torah, it couldn't go into Rabbi Yonasan ben Azil's head. I said, when I was like oiskar with la'mita shel Torah, it's a verhakt in the middle. It didn't go through. Reb Nachum Shver Rabbinish, Zeichet Tzadik L'Vrocha, I think every Tuesday before he said the Shir, he used to come Reb Nachum and say over the Shir Klali to Reb Nachum. Reb Nachum was a strainer, but that's not a strainer, a real, extremely fine strainer. And when somebody wanted to say over the Shtickle Torah, and if you want to know, was Emes Lamita Shal Torah, the strainer to put it through was Reb Nachum's head. Well, if it wasn't MS, Miyad Nisraf, immediately it got burned. I once heard that Reb Abramsky used to say a Shikloli every 2 weeks in Slobodka. And Reb Nachum used to go to Reb Abramsky. Reb Abramsky asked Reb Nachum to come to him. Reb Abramsky was probably twice his age. To say over the Shir Kloli before he says it over in Slobodka, he had to put it through that strainer. When he went through the strainer of Reb Nachum, we can't dissolve him. And if it's a verhakt, miyad nisraf. I go, how do you get such a strainer? How do you get such a fine strainer? I once heard from my father, he heard from Reb Lezi Yudel Zeichet Tzadik L'Vrocha. He said on Reb Nachum, as by Mir is klar, as came machshav v'zara, is came l'duch zayin kav. Came machshav v'zara never went through his head. Once there's a machshav v'zara in somebody's head, the strainer gets broken. It gets big holes in it, then everything goes through. By a mensch was came machshav v'zara, came l'duch zayin kav. Their machshav, their cup can zayin, that could be a strainer. V'amita shel Torah, kisinasa mesina. And then it says, Reb Nachum used to say, Yeshir v'hayet v'am smechin. Kisinasa mesina. If I just could end with one quote from Rebbe Lapian. Rambam says in Hilchos Avodah Zarah that Yankov Avinu made a yeshiva in Mitzrayim, and he put him at Levi. He was Moshe Levi as the Rosh Yeshiva, Memuna Achel Memuna from Shevet Levi Favos Shleit Tishtachach Torah. And so steht Rambam. He made sure it's a tiny yeshiva. Levi is the Rosh Yeshiva. And when Levi dies, somebody else from Shevet Levi, somebody else from Shevet Levi, Shleit Tishtachach Torah. So steht Rambam. Mamish the words of Tadchuma. On a yeshiva v'tzana shekhes Torah. How did Shevet Levi live in Mitzrayim? What did they live with? So Rebbe Lapian brings down the Chazal and says, Parai wanted Shevet Levi to work. He wanted them to work. So what he did, he used to give out rations to Klal Yisrael for food. You work, you got food. And he made an announcement, if you work, you get rations. If you don't work, you don't get fed. So Shevet Levi would have to come and work, because or else they're not going to have food. So what's it Yishem with Shevet Levi? I'll read you the Lashon of Rebbe Lapian Lev Eliyahu. The words speak for themselves. V'omlam yesh lisboinen ledas, mehechen izoyin kol shevet levi. V'vanim ze gelebt. Kol azman. Hine shaila zu shailon chazal. He found a chazal. Umeshivim umisaprim lanu dover pella. Shekol mishpacha mishpacha. Mima shoy mekablen mozen upras mi beis hamalchus. Hoy mafrishim chelik mizeh. Umevil le'erz goyshin. V'noisen l'shevet levi. How much did Klal Yisrael get already? They got meager rations. Every member of Klal Yisrael, men, women, and children, took a chelik of their food and gave it to Shevet Levi. V'zen nimshach v'chol meshach yimei golaseinu b'Mitzrayim. Hizboinen achai, sagt Rebbe. Hizboinen achai. Think about it, he says. Kami geboire ruach hayu ozbnei Yisrael. Shalai rak shalai is oinenu al Shevet Levi, shein zazim in kaimam. Not only didn't have kindness on Shevet Levi, that Shevet Levi is sitting and learning and we're working. We're killing ourselves. Come Darwin, if you want to work, if you want to eat, come work. Doesn't it? Pirsu milachman hadal. They gave their food, their bread, the lechem b'nei beisim v'tapim. They took food from their wives and their children because they had to be finest the wives of the children of Bnei Levi also. Shenosim lampar b'tzimtzum gol. V'elichu Shevet Levi b'kovet gol v'derech eretz nifla, and they brought it to Shevet Levi. V'lo shavu me'af echad she's oinen v'yoyma lo ani tzricha lit lechem. Von was darf ich geben Brot? Yedlu v'yavdu gam hen. V'lo yaskeinu, if the older people in Shevet Levi can't go work, l'chalapachas yishlu b'neim lavit. Let them send their sons to work. Lo yikein ha'yasham. Lo dibru v'lo hiriru chas v'sholom al k'doyshe anshe Shevet Levi ha'oiskim b'toy. Ki kulam kol mishpacha yakiru v'evinu. Jede mishpacha hat gewusst und verstanden, ki tzorach sheyisher v'yimse chelik hogan b'klal Yisrael she'terosim im nosam. V'chol mei nosam b'esik hatar levad. Jede will verstehen, a Shevet Levi darf sitzen lernen. As it's darf sein a yeshiva in Klal Yisrael. It has to be a yeshiva that's never going to stop. Because if it's going to stop, there'll be shikha satar in Klal Yisrael. It's ganz Klal Yisrael that's verstanden that Shevet Levi cannot come out of work. They have to be there. Das ist der Osef in Klal Yisrael. And without that, there'll be shikha satar. U'lechein parsu kol echad ve'echad malachmai v'zana u'panasei es kol Shevet Levi heim u'b'neim u'b'neiseyim v'chol asher lahem v'dogu shel yechsel lahem u'umma. Es a garnet oisgefell Shevet Levi. Weil Klal Yisrael verstanden as dav zane Shevet Levi. Das ist der Osef in Klal Yisrael. And there Shevet Levi, kol HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yisrael, it never stopped. And the Yeshiva said, Mir Yeshiva is one is a Shevet Levi. Und jeder einer versteht in Klal Yisrael, aber darf haben als Mir Yeshiva. A Mir Yeshiva was na land dort in Brachos bis Uxen, am Alchamta shel Torah she'en kamoyu, Midin Dover al Buri and Lamita shel Torah. In on them will given a Shikha Torah b'Klal Yisrael. And that's what we're here for tonight. To guarantee that Shevet Levi has a key might be a Segoil. Maybe she'll take a help, and thank you. I might have spoken a little longer than I should have. Thank you for listening.